When we talk about artificial intelligence, our minds usually jump to code, data centers, and complex algorithms. But today, we're diving into a completely different kind of story, one where the most important part of a high-tech AI system isn't silicon, it's people. The human engine driving eimiAI. This quote really gets right to the heart of it. eimiAI is a platform that's all about bringing advanced tech to communities that are often left behind. And as this line makes crystal clear, its real power doesn't just come from the software. It comes from people. This tells you right off the bat that we're looking at a human-powered movement. So what exactly is this human engine? Well, it's made up of people called human bridges. And this definition is absolutely key. We're not talking about your typical salesperson here. Look at those words, trusted local leader. This is someone who's already got deep roots and credibility in their town, and their whole job is to connect, train, and support. They're the ones who make technology feel personal and, actually usable. Okay, so now that we know what a human bridge is, we gotta ask, why are they so critical? Well, their mission is to solve what people in the tech world call the last mile problem. This sounds so simple, right? But it's a massive, massive hurdle. You can build the most brilliant AI tool on the planet, but if it's delivered by a stranger and no one bothers to explain how it can help a farmer with their crops or help a kid with their homework, it might as well not even exist. It's that human touch, that trust and education that turns a piece of software into a real-world solution. And this slide just lays out the difference perfectly. On one side, you've got the faceless tech company. They're distant, maybe a little intimidating, and they have no clue about what's actually needed on the ground. But on the other side, you have a pastor, a teacher, the person who owns the local internet cafe. These are people with built-in trust who already get the community's challenges. The human bridge model, it chooses that second path every single time. So why does this model work so well? It really boils down to this powerful cycle. It all starts with trust, right? That familiar face overcomes the natural skepticism people have. And that trust opens the door for real practical education, like actually showing someone how a tool can solve their specific problem. But the final piece, that's what makes it all last: economic sustainability. This isn't some temporary aid project. It's a model where local leaders are building a business by empowering their own neighbors. Okay, let's shift gears and look at how this whole thing actually works financially. If the goal is sustainability, how does the program power itself? The answer is in the engine, a simple commission-based model. The whole financial engine is built around one single transparent number, 5%. Every time a human bridge connects a sponsor to someone in their community, they get a 5% commission. It's simple, it's direct, and it powers everything. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. The key word here is recurring. This is a total game changer. This isn't about getting a one-time bonus or making a sale. It's about building a stable, long-term income stream. What that does is it ties the ambassador's success directly to the long-term success of the people they're helping. As long as that student is learning, the ambassador keeps earning. So what does that 5% actually look like in real money? This table breaks it down for us. For every single student sponsored at $20 a month, the ambassador earns $1 every single month. If they set up a whole classroom hub, that's $10 a month. And if they land a major language preservation sponsorship, that's a nice one-time $300 commission. You can see how these different streams can really start to add up. And this isn't some dead-end gig, It's a real career path. An ambassador can actually climb this income ladder. They start out, then build up a steady, active income. From there, they can become a leader, maybe managing a whole network of hubs. And the top rung is becoming a champion, where their work isn't just generating a solid income, but it's making a huge positive impact across their entire region. Okay, so we've covered the mission and the money, but what does the day-to-day job of a human bridge actually look like? Well, the program also calls them cultural evangelists, which is a pretty big clue that this is about a whole lot more than just tech. Their job really has 3 core parts, which makes them way more than just a tech facilitator. First, they're on the front lines of cultural preservation, working to save local languages. Second, they're educators, teaching their community how to use AI for really practical stuff like farming and learning. And third, they're network builders, constantly growing this ecosystem of support and knowledge. So who's the perfect person for this role? This is the smart part. The program doesn't try to build trust from scratch. It strategically goes after people who are already trusted pillars of their community. We're talking teachers, pastors, local entrepreneurs, people who have a real vested interest in seeing their community do well. So, what kind of skills do you even need? Looking at this, it's pretty obvious you don't need to be a coding genius. The most important skills are all about community engagement. Can you organize a local meeting? Can you use social media to spread the word? The focus is way more on your ability to connect with people than on your technical know-how. Now, this is fascinating. The application process itself tells you so much about the program's values. When people apply, they get asked why they want to join. And as you can see from the options, making money is only one piece of the pie. It's weighed just as heavily as preserving their culture and empowering their community. They're filtering for people with passion, not just people looking for a paycheck. So let's zoom out for a second and look at the big picture. When you put the mission, the financial engine, and the role of the cultural evangelist all together, what you get is a really powerful, self-reinforcing system. What this creates is a hybrid socio-economic engine. It's such a clever mix. It's not pure business, and it's not pure charity. Unlike a lot of aid models that can just be temporary, this thing uses a simple business incentive, that commission, to power a really deep social mission. Each part feeds the other, creating this incredible virtuous cycle. And this final quote, man, it just says it all. The entire model is designed from the ground up to be a grassroots effort. The technology might be super advanced, but the rollout, the trust, and the success, it's all driven from inside the community itself. Which leaves us with a final, really thought-provoking question. As we're racing toward ever more powerful AI, maybe the biggest innovation won't be in the code itself, but in the human-centered models we build to connect that code to the real world. Is the future of technology actually a lot more human than we think?